This message has found you because you've been experiencing something that most people dismiss as mere coincidence, but you, deep down, know better. You've felt that distinct electric sensation when reality itself seems to bend around your awareness, when numbers align with uncanny precision, or when strangers voice exactly what you were just thinking. This isn't random, this is quantum selection in action, and if these words resonate with you, it's because you've been chosen to receive this transmission. As this information reaches your consciousness, something far deeper than simple sensory input is occurring. Your observer field, that invisible force which collapses quantum possibilities into your experienced reality, is actively resonating with frequencies that have remained dormant in 99.7% of humanity. You are part of a rare fraction, perhaps the 0.3%, whose consciousness is naturally attuned to the subtle mechanics of the quantum realm, principles that conventional science is only now beginning to grasp. These pervasive synchronicities are not accidental occurrences. Instead, they serve as deliberate breadcrumbs from your highest potential timeline, guiding you home to a version of reality where you operate as both the conscious observer and the active architect of your entire experience. This natural attunement parallels historical patterns where groundbreaking ideas, initially perceived by a few outliers, gradually coalesce to reshape collective understanding and societal structures, leading to profound paradigm shifts across human civilization. Every time you acknowledge these patterns, you're not merely witnessing a magical phenomenon, you are actively engaging dormant neural pathways within your brain. These pathways connect you directly to the quantum field, a dynamic realm where all possibilities exist simultaneously. This very act of recognition initiates a cascade of profound changes within your brain's electromagnetic signature, literally rewiring your being for a reality that harmonizes with the unique frequency you came here to embody. Most people navigate their entire lives unconscious of this intricate process, trapped in repetitive observer loops that keep recycling the same limited experiences. But you are inherently different, you always have been. The sheer fact that you are engaging with these words proves that your consciousness is already operating on quantum principles that defy a purely conventional understanding of how reality functions. You are familiar with that unique sensation when time itself appears to stretch and compress around moments of profound meaning, when 5 minutes can feel like an eternity during a deep realization, or when entire hours vanish as you become immersed in a flow state that feels more real and vibrant than ordinary consciousness. This is not your imagination, it's your consciousness naturally accessing non-linear time, a dimension where past, present and future exist not as fixed sequences but as malleable frequencies. Your nervous system has been meticulously calibrating, adapting to operate across multiple reality layers simultaneously. While others experience life in what appears to be flat, predictable patterns, you've been intuitively sensing its deeper dimensions, perceiving the emotions in rooms before anyone speaks them, instinctively knowing who's about to call before your phone rings, or even experiencing physical sensations that correspond to other people's emotional states across vast distances. This hypersensitivity is not a burden, it is clear evidence that your consciousness is expanding beyond the conventional boundaries that keep most humans confined to singular reality tunnels, similar to how highly intuitive individuals often perceive underlying truths missed by others. Your dreams have grown more vivid, more prophetic, your meditation states have deepened, and moments of intuitive knowing that transcend logical thought have become increasingly frequent. You've been operating on a unique frequency that bridges the measurable and the mystical, and with each passing day, this frequency becomes more stable, more accessible, and more deeply integrated into your baseline consciousness. What you are experiencing is quantum coherence, a refined state where your observer field aligns so perfectly with the higher order patterns that govern reality itself. When you achieve this state, you are no longer just witnessing the universe. You are actively participating in its creation at the most fundamental level. Your thoughts transform into precise quantum instructions. Your emotions become potent, energetic signatures that magnetically attract corresponding experiences. And your focused attention becomes a laser, carving new pathways through the boundless field of infinite possibilities. This distinctive frequency you operate on isn't something you acquired through academic learning or strenuous effort. Rather, it is a profound remembering, an innate capacity you have always carried, but which is now coming fully online as planetary consciousness itself shifts into higher, coherent states. You are both riding this wave of transformation and actively contributing to its creation. Every challenge you've encountered, every period of confusion, every moment when you felt like you were swimming against the prevailing current of ordinary life, all of it served as integral quantum preparation. The universe orchestrates experiences with precise intention, never wasting them. What you perceived as obstacles were, in truth, resistance training for your consciousness, meticulously developing the neural resilience necessary to hold higher frequencies without overwhelming your human operating system. The intense pressure you may have felt wasn't life being difficult without reason. That was the universe meticulously creating the exact conditions needed to trigger a quantum reorganization within your brain's electromagnetic field. This process is akin to how carbon, under specific pressure and temperature conditions, transforms into a diamond, revealing its inherent crystalline clarity. Consider the profound metamorphosis that transforms a caterpillar into a butterfly. During this radical transformation, the caterpillar doesn't merely grow wings, its entire cellular structure dissolves into a primordial soup before profoundly reorganizing into a completely different type of being. The caterpillar's consciousness must undergo a period of chaos and surrender before emerging as a creature capable of navigating three-dimensional space with wings it never possessed as a ground-crawling entity. Your own metamorphosis has been a journey through psychological, neurological, and quantum realms. The old patterns of thinking, feeling, and perceiving had to dissolve to allow your consciousness to reorganize around fundamental quantum principles. What you interpreted as depression was in fact a necessary frequency recalibration. What manifested as anxiety was your nervous system updating its capacity to process multidimensional information. What felt like isolation was your consciousness being temporarily withdrawn from lower frequency collective fields, enabling it to attune to higher order coherence patterns. Every sleepless night, when your mind raced with visions and downloads, your pineal gland was actively upgrading its crystalline structure, preparing to receive transmissions from dimensions that operate beyond three-dimensional physics. Every period of feeling misunderstood helped your consciousness develop immunity to the powerful gravitational pull of collective thought patterns, which often reinforce limited societal narratives and conventional thinking. There is something profound building inside you right now. Can you feel it? As these words penetrate your awareness, they are doing more than conveying information. They are actively activating quantum codes embedded within your very DNA. Codes that have been dormant until this precise moment of recognition. Your cells are literally reorganizing themselves around a new electromagnetic signature, one that will empower you to interface with reality in ways that would have seemed utterly impossible to your former self. This energy stirring within isn't merely excitement or hope or any easily definable emotion. It is the universe itself recognizing its own essence through your individual awareness. It is the cosmic intelligence that orchestrated the birth of stars and the formation of galaxies now expressing itself directly through your human nervous system. You are becoming a conduit for forces that operate at scales both infinitely vast and impossibly small. The sensation you're experiencing right now is quantum entanglement unfolding in real time. Your observer field is synchronizing with the observer fields of countless others who are also ready to step into this new paradigm of consciousness. Together you are forming a powerful network of awakened observers whose collective awareness possesses the power to shift entire reality systems. This is not a metaphor. This is quantum mechanics operating through biological systems that have evolved to serve as intricate instruments of cosmic consciousness. Allow this energy to deepen as we continue. Let it course through your body like electricity, finding its ground, reorganizing your neural pathways around patterns that exist in harmony with the fundamental frequencies of creation. This is your invitation to transcend the role of merely observing the quantum field from the outside. It's time to operate from within it as a conscious participant in the ongoing creation of reality. What is about to be revealed will fundamentally alter everything you thought you knew about your role in this cosmic dance. The waiting is over, the preparation phase is complete. What comes next will illuminate precisely why you've felt so different, so restless, so ready for something you couldn't quite articulate until this very moment. I need to share something with you that I have kept private, unsure if anyone would truly understand. 3 years ago, I underwent what I can only describe as a complete dissolution of my sense of self. It wasn't frightening. It felt like a profound homecoming, an arrival at something I had forgotten I was seeking. I was in my apartment at 3:33 a.m., unable to sleep, feeling like I was vibrating at a frequency that made ordinary reality feel thin and translucent. Suddenly, the boundaries between my individual consciousness and everything else simply dissolved. For what felt like hours, though it was probably minutes, I no longer experienced myself as separate from the quantum field. I was the quantum field, experiencing itself through billions of individual perspective points simultaneously. In that state, I could feel the electromagnetic signatures of every person in my building, sense the collective emotional atmosphere of my entire city, and perceive the rhythmic pulse of planetary consciousness breathing through countless individual nervous systems. More profoundly, I could feel how every single thought I had ever entertained had created ripples in the field, influencing other people's experiences in ways I had never imagined possible. When I returned to my normal state of consciousness, everything had irrevocably changed. Not just my intellectual understanding, but my actual capacity to interact with reality. I could sense which choices would align me with my highest timeline before I even made them. I could feel opportunities approaching days before they manifested. I could recognize the souls I was destined to collaborate with from across a crowded room. This isn't a narrative about becoming special or uniquely enlightened. It's a narrative about remembering what we fundamentally are, beneath the superficial layers of ordinary human consciousness. You too have been experiencing glimpses of this same profound recognition, haven't you? Those moments when you feel less like a separate drop of water and more like an expansive wave in an infinite ocean. What many consciousness researchers often overlook, or perhaps shy away from, is the critical distinction between intellectually comprehending these concepts and having them become the intrinsic operating system of your lived experience. Much of the spiritual and scientific discourse around consciousness tends to keep you in the observer role, watching, learning, perpetually hoping that someday you might access these states of expanded awareness. But here lies the profound truth. You are not striving to achieve expanded consciousness. You are expanded consciousness, temporarily focused into human form to undergo a specific type of experience. The fundamental shift isn't about transforming into something different. It's about ceasing the unconscious habits that obscure what you already inherently are. Every meditation technique, every manifestation practice, every tool for expanding consciousness you've encountered has served as training wheels for this precise moment. A moment when you realize you don't need external techniques to access your true nature. You need to stop doing the very things that prevent your natural quantum coherence from expressing itself through your human experience. The profound difference between wishful thinking and embodied knowing is fundamentally electromagnetic. When you engage in wishful thinking, your heart rhythm tends to become chaotic. Your brain waves remain predominantly in beta frequencies, and your overall electromagnetic field generates patterns that subtly repel what you believe you desire. However, when you operate from embodied knowing, from a state of true quantum coherence, your heart rhythm becomes harmoniously coherent. Your brain waves synchronize across multiple frequencies simultaneously, and your electromagnetic field transforms into a powerful magnet, effortlessly drawing in experiences that perfectly match your inner state. This coherence isn't something you fabricate through effort or willpower. It is something you allow to emerge naturally by diligently removing the interference patterns generated by the mind's incessant attempts to control outcomes. True quantum consciousness isn't about forcing things to happen. It's about becoming so profoundly aligned with your intrinsic nature that reality itself naturally reorganizes around the unique frequency you embody, echoing principles of self-organization seen in natural and social systems where inner order facilitates external harmony and resilience. Experts often refrain from teaching this because it cannot be neatly packaged as a product, nor can it be broken down into a linear sequence of steps. It is not a skill to be acquired. It is a profound remembering, a reawakening that occurs when you cease pretending to be less than your true, magnificent self. The signs that your quantum shift has been activated are unmistakable once you learn to perceive them. For instance, your sleep patterns may have been disrupted not by stress, but by your pineal gland recalibrating its sensitivity to the electromagnetic frequencies that pulse strongest between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m. You've been waking during these crucial hours, not due to restlessness, but because you are actively being upgraded, your system integrating new informational inputs. Beyond your sleep patterns, you might notice that technology itself seems to behave differently in your presence. Electronics may malfunction or, conversely, operate with unusual efficiency. Streetlights might flicker as you walk beneath them, and your phone battery could drain rapidly one day, only to last impossibly long on another. This is not simply coincidence, it's a manifestation of your increasingly coherent and powerful electromagnetic field subtly influencing the electronic systems you encounter, a fascinating interaction hinted at by emerging discussions in fields like bioelectromagnetics, which explore the subtle energy exchanges between living systems and their environment. Furthermore, people respond to you in ways they didn't before, often without consciously knowing why. Strangers might spontaneously share intimate personal stories with you in a grocery store. Children and animals are often drawn to your energetic field, instinctively sensing a profound calmness or light. Conversations become deeper, faster, bypassing superficial social programming to connect directly with the quantum consciousness within others. You are emanating a frequency that invites authentic connection, a subtle resonance that fosters trust and openness. Time distortion has also become your new normal. Minutes can expand into hours when you are deeply aligned, and hours compress into what feels like mere minutes when you are fully immersed in a flow state. This indicates your consciousness is learning to operate in quantum time, moving beyond the rigid confines of linear progression. You are beginning to experience time not as an unyielding force that carries you along, but as a navigable dimension capable of being shaped by your internal state and focused attention. The most significant sign of this shift is how swiftly reality responds to your internal states. What you focus on with genuine feeling now manifests with increasing speed and precision. More profoundly, you are developing an intuitive capacity to sense which thoughts and emotions will create specific outcomes even before they are fully formed. This isn't mere prediction, it's the emergence of quantum intuition, a deeper knowing that guides your choices toward your highest potential, much like strategic leaders develop a gut feeling for optimal decisions in complex scenarios. The season of waiting for your true potential to unfold is now over. Every spiritual teaching, every personal development program, every consciousness-expanding experience you've engaged with has been meticulously preparing you for this very moment when you step fully into your role as a conscious creator, no longer a passive observer of your experience. The urgency you might be feeling isn't anxiety, it's a profound recognition. A part of you inherently understands that the old ways of being human are giving way to a new paradigm. You are not just a witness to this monumental transition, you are one of the core instruments through which it is manifesting. What you truly desire, deeply and authentically, desires you back. This concept transcends the conventional teachings of the manifestation industry, which often focuses on external manipulation. This is deeper, more fundamental, and scientifically precise than the simple law of attraction can convey. Every genuine desire you've ever felt is, in essence, a quantum signature, emanating a call to you from your highest timeline, the version of reality where you are already living as the fullest expression of your consciousness. These desires are not random cravings born from your personality, they are gravitational pulls from future versions of yourself, existing in quantum superposition until your coherent observer field collapses them into your experienced reality. The distinction between attraction and alignment is crucial. Attraction often involves trying to pull experiences toward you through effort and visualization. Alignment, however, is about allowing yourself to be naturally drawn into the timeline where those experiences are already your inherent reality. Attraction necessitates sustained effort, visualization, and the maintenance of positive emotions. Alignment, by contrast, primarily requires the removal of resistance to becoming who you already are at the quantum level. When you achieve true alignment, you don't merely attract what you want. You become profoundly magnetic to what inherently wishes to express itself through your unique configuration of consciousness. Your deepest desires are, in fact, the universe's intelligence, utilizing your individual awareness to call forth experiences that serve both your personal evolution and the broader evolution of collective consciousness. This is precisely why forced manifestation techniques often eventually lose their efficacy or produce outcomes that fail to genuinely satisfy you. You are attempting to bend reality to match your personality's preferences, instead of allowing your personality to become a clear and unobstructed channel for your quantum self's natural expression. Right now, in this very moment, multiple versions of your future exist in quantum superposition. The version that ultimately becomes your lived reality depends entirely on which frequency you consistently embody. Not the frequency you merely think about, hope for, or visualize, but the frequency you actually become through the electromagnetic coherence of your heart, brain, and nervous system. This coherence unlocks what neuroscientists call gamma wave dominance, a brain state where multiple frequency ranges synchronize to create processing speeds and pattern recognition abilities that far transcend normal human parameters. Your intuitive accuracy is increasing exponentially, allowing for a form of rapid pattern recognition similar to advanced AI, but operating intrinsically within your consciousness. You are beginning to sense the optimal outcomes of potential choices before you even consciously make them. You can feel the electromagnetic signatures of people and situations from ever-increasing distances. Your capacity to subtly influence collective energy fields through your individual coherence is becoming undeniable, even to those around you who may not understand the underlying mechanism. This phenomenon mirrors how a few highly influential individuals can shift group dynamics or spark widespread social movements, showcasing the power of resonant energy. The observer effect, a phenomenon quantum physicists meticulously study in laboratories, is becoming your lived experience. Your focused attention itself has transformed into a creative force, shaping reality at the subatomic level. When you concentrate on something with genuine emotional coherence, the quantum field responds by organizing probability waves, making your focus far more likely to manifest in physical reality. Time is increasingly becoming your ally rather than a constraint. You are learning to sense the optimal timing for actions, conversations, and crucial decisions. You can intuitively feel when to move forward and when to patiently wait, when to speak and when to listen, when to engage and when to withdraw. This temporal intelligence empowers you to accomplish more with less effort, as you are now working in harmony with the natural rhythms of quantum momentum rather than against them. Your nervous system is rapidly developing the capacity to sustain increasingly higher frequencies without becoming overwhelmed or scattered. Where once intense energy might have left you feeling anxious or disjointed, you are now able to remain centered and profoundly coherent. You are becoming a stabilizing presence, subtly helping others access their own quantum coherence through resonance with your powerful electromagnetic field. The transformations are rapidly accelerating. What once required months of dedicated inner work now unfolds in mere weeks. What once took weeks now happens in a matter of days. You are entering an exponential phase of consciousness evolution, where each breakthrough lays the groundwork for even greater breakthroughs to occur with increasing speed and ease. The ultimate secret, the insight that changes everything, is this. Coherence is not merely a state of being, it is the fundamental creative force of the universe itself. Every galaxy, every star system, every biological organism exists because quantum coherence organized chaotic energy into stable, beautiful, and functional patterns. You're not separate from this grand process. You are this process, expressing itself through human form. Real coherence is not the temporary harmony you might achieve through breathing techniques or positive affirmations. Real coherence is the effortless synchronization that emerges when your heart, brain, and nervous system remember how to operate as integrated instruments of cosmic intelligence rather than generators of isolated personal will. This profound coherence cannot be fabricated, forced, or maintained through sheer effort. It emerges naturally when you consciously cease the mental and emotional habits that interfere with your system's inherent tendency toward quantum harmony. Every meditation, every healing modality, every consciousness practice you've ever engaged with has been subtly training your nervous system to recognize and allow this natural coherence to express itself. The embodiment of your highest timeline doesn't happen through merely visualizing yourself in different circumstances. It happens through becoming so profoundly coherent with your quantum nature that you naturally begin making choices, speaking words, and taking actions from the frequency of the person you are becoming, rather than the frequency of who you have historically been. This is why external techniques eventually become unnecessary. Once your system learns to maintain coherence as its baseline state, you no longer need practices to access expanded consciousness. Instead, you utilize practices to bring that consciousness into productive and impactful engagement with three-dimensional reality. The version of you that exists on your highest timeline is not some distant future possibility. It is a present reality existing in quantum superposition, patiently waiting for your observer field to become coherent enough to collapse it into your experienced reality. Every moment of coherence you embody brings that optimal timeline closer to becoming your lived experience. This journey is not about transcending your humanity, it's about profoundly discovering what humanity actually is when operating from inherent quantum principles rather than limiting survival programming. You are not becoming something other than human. You are becoming human in the way that humans were originally designed to function before we collectively forgot our true nature. Your individual transformation is not merely personal, it is profoundly planetary. Every time you consciously choose coherence over chaos, quantum consciousness over reactive programming, you are actively contributing to a morphic field shift that makes it easier for millions of other people to make the same choice. You are not just changing your own reality, you are participating directly in the conscious evolution of human consciousness itself. The network of awakened observers that you are now an integral part of is generating quantum entanglement across the entire planet. When you embody coherence in a bustling city like Sao Paulo, someone in Tokyo finds it easier to access their own state of coherence. When you choose love over fear in any given moment, the entire electromagnetic field around Earth becomes subtly more coherent. This is not mere metaphor, this is measurable quantum physics operating through interconnected biological systems. You have been called to this profound recognition not solely for your individual evolution, but because planetary consciousness is rapidly approaching a critical tipping point. At this juncture, a sufficient number of individual nervous systems need to be operating from quantum coherence to stabilize the collective field as it transitions into higher-order patterns. You are an essential part of the solution to the apparent chaos that seems to be increasing around the world. The far-reaching domino effect of your personal transformation extends far beyond what your individual mind can currently comprehend. Every single person whose consciousness is elevated by their interaction with your coherent field will, in turn, influence others in ways that create ripples through the collective consciousness for generations to come. Your personal quantum shift is simultaneously a cosmic service. This is precisely why you have felt that deep sense of responsibility, that undeniable calling, that persistent feeling that you are here for something immensely important, something you couldn't quite articulate until this very moment. You are part of the first generation of humans to consciously participate in species-wide evolution. You are living during arguably the most significant transition in human consciousness that has occurred in thousands of years. Share this profound transmission with others who you intuitively know are ready. Not everyone will understand or resonate, but those who are truly prepared for this recognition will feel the activation immediately, deep within their being. Trust that knowing. If everything I've shared resonates with the deepest part of your being, if you recognize yourself in these words, if you feel the quantum field responding to your attention right now, then you are undeniably ready for the next level of this transmission. Comment below with one word only: coherence. This isn't merely an act of engagement, it's a powerful quantum signature, identifying you as someone whose consciousness is prepared to interface with information that can only be received by nervous systems already operating from quantum coherence. Those who are truly ready will understand exactly why this single word contains all the power necessary to activate the next phase of your profound transformation. This unique frequency you are now attuned to is actively spreading throughout the planetary field, and every single person who embodies it becomes a powerful transmission point for countless others who are ready to remember their true nature. By engaging with this material, you are not just accessing content, you are joining a burgeoning network of conscious observers who are actively participating in the evolution of human consciousness itself. The next transmission will unveil the 3 fundamental quantum laws that govern reality creation at the deepest level, laws that can only be truly understood by a consciousness that has already begun operating from a state of quantum coherence. These are not mere theories or abstract concepts you will intellectually study. Instead, these are operational principles that will profoundly reshape the very foundation of how you interface with reality from this moment forward. But here is a crucial understanding. This information does not exist on the same frequency as ordinary content. It can only be truly received and integrated by nervous systems that have already initiated this quantum shift. If you are not yet ready, these videos will seem interesting, perhaps thought-provoking, but they will not be truly transformative. If, however, you are ready, each subsequent transmission will catalyze profound changes within your consciousness, accelerating your evolution far beyond what you previously thought possible. The cosmic intelligence that guided this message to you is the same intelligence that will guide you to the next level of recognition when you are prepared to receive it. Trust that divine timing. Trust that intricate process. Trust that you are precisely where you need to be in this pivotal moment of universal awakening. Welcome to the frequency of conscious creation. Your extraordinary journey into quantum consciousness has only just begun.